All right. Something came to my mind and I decided to share it, just share it. So it's about time basically. So I was just thinking about time, and though it came from a movie, I'll talk about the movie later. But after watching the movie, the thought about time just came to my mind, and I was thinking what time actually is. You get. So I found out that most of the no, no, what we believe time to be, it's not just that. Time is far bigger than that. And I'm just going to explain something little about what I have seen so far, I've researched so far. So, so time isn't what you actually think it is. It's not something we live in. Time is not something we live in. It's something we live through. Okay, we live through. So when I watched the movie again, because I watched it before, Lucy, to be precise, yes, called Lucy. And to that's Scarlett Johansson, that lady started in Adventure. So majorly, when I watched the movie, I realized it wasn't just about a sci-fi movie. You get a sci-fi film, science fiction and stuff like that. It was like a mirror, or I would say a modern parable about God, time, and eternity. In general. So in scriptures, most of the times we compare things to scripture. So in scripture, does God does not live in time. God is not living in time, or he doesn't live in time. It's because he created time. He created. So in creation, the time was created at the beginning in Genesis 1 verse 1. So when the Bible said, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and the earth was without form and void and stuff like that. So, so that very moment, time itself was born, it was created. So also, Psalms chapter 90, Psalms 90 also said that from everlasting to everlasting you are God. Yeah, and also the Bible has different references when he portrays God as a being who doesn't live in time, which is not in time like we do. So he steps into time when he chooses to. God can come into time whenever he chooses to. If he does not want to come into time, he stays where he is again. So through Christ, through Jesus Christ, and through history, we've seen that he has stepped into time, in several occasions. So the major example is Christ, through Jesus Christ. So he came into time through the person of Jesus Christ, his son, and through our lives also. He experienced time through our lives. He does things in time through our lives. So, but he's never confined by time. God is never confined by time because he created it. So, and that's exactly what Lucy discovered, or what the movie, the lady in the movie discovered, because she discovers that as her consciousness expands, in the movie, her brain capacity, the way she used her brain capacity was increasing rapidly from 10 to 20 to 30, 50, and 100. So as her consciousness expands, her brain usage expands, she starts to see time itself, moving. She had the ability to move backward in time, forward. I know, just she was able to move through creation itself. Okay, so eventually she transcended time. You get merging with everything, and when it is so. At the end of the movie, she made a statement. She just wrote to one of the characters in the movie that I am everywhere, because the guy was asking, so where is she? And they were like, she just sent a message to the guy that I'm everywhere, and that's an attribute we know to be, that's assigned to God. God is omnipresent. You get, it's everywhere. So that moment feels familiar because it was almost divine. You get when they wrote the statement, like, "Come on, she's portraying God and stuff like that." So because in Scripture, God said, the same thing. God said the same thing. You get this, I am that I am, I'm the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. You get, that was Revelation 1 verse 8. So to be precise. So the story behind the movie Lucy becomes a metaphor for something very deep. You get something deeper. So the moment when human limitation meets divine flow. Okay. At first she try to control everything, but the more she, at first she was trying to control things to herself. Even her body, was fighting against the knowledge that she was beginning to acquire. As her consciousness grows, her body was fighting against it. But at the point she began to let go, you get, to trust what she knew, the knowledge that she was now acquiring, the understanding that she was now getting about humanity, about time itself. So the more she became, she became one, she became one with creation itself. So that's the same truth in Psalms 46 verse 10. You get, when God said, be still and know that I am God. A human by default likes control, you get, but in divinity, for us to experience the divine nature of God, we need to surrender. Divinity requires surrender. For us to understand God, it means to surrender. So, and sometimes the greatest awakening isn't about power, you get, it's about peace. When we find peace in whatsoever we do, in what God is doing in our lives also. So that's when we begin to truly experience God, because at that moment we've given total control to Him and we are at peace with it. So we're trusting that He knows what He's doing. You get, He knows how to handle the life He has given to us. At the beginning, He gave us a life, you get. So God steps into time to meet us. Again, He steps out of time to remind us He's already there. You get, He's already there. He can step into time, He can step out of time to remind us that He's God and He's already there. That He's in our past, in our future, and in our present, in our now. You get, so the ability of God to move around within, in time, it gives us the awareness or the knowledge that God is omnipresent, is with us, is for us, He has gone before us, He has been with us, through our past and stuff like that. So, and when we stop trying to control the flow or not the flow, it will finally start to move within. You get, stop trying to fight what He's doing in our lives. It begins to show that we begin to see His work in our lives, because we can't keep what you keep fighting, you cannot actually benefit from. That's the basic truth. Yeah. So what we keep fighting, we cannot. Pastor Vera would definitely always say all the time that you can't benefit from something you are against, you fight against. You cannot be in a local church or a local assembly and you are not following the rules or the principles that governs that particular local church. As long as you are not following the flow, you are not going with the current, you find yourself in the state whereby you are deprived of the benefit you're supposed to get from that particular local church or local assembly. You get, so the Creator who holds all things together is God, and He is there waiting for us to give Him control over every single thing about ourselves, about our life. Or just to do that, because it's very, very important. It's very important. So it could be poetic. What I just said is not just poetic, but it's also profoundly spiritual, because long before Lucy or the movie came. Scripture has already revealed the same truth, that time is not God's container, it's his creation. Time itself is God's creation. So this has been a very long talk, but anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys. And okay, bye. It's okay, Mute. Bye.